Hi everyone, it's Renee from the Guitar Guild here with more tips on how to support your children's music lesson. Today I want to talk about how to select a music teacher. So I'm just going to backtrack just a little bit because I think this is a really important topic. And I'm raising it because in over 20 years of teaching, it's very interesting to me how parents have been selecting me as a music teacher. And in those 20 years, only 2 parents have ever asked me, what are my qualifications? The first question I always get asked is, where are you? And that's important. I understand geography is important because you guys are all running around, ferrying your kids from this to that. You don't want to drive too far. And I understand that that's important. You need someone local. And then the next question is usually how much? And then we start getting into the tin tacks of scheduling. But only 2 parents have asked me, how am I qualified to teach their children? And so I find that interesting. I actually bring it up because I want to make sure that they understand that I am qualified to teach their children, both with education and experience. So let's get into it. There are 3 questions that you should be asking a potential teacher when you're trying to sign your kids up for music lessons. So the first question you should ask is, what qualifies you to teach my children? What qualifies you to teach my children? So what you're looking for here is 2 things, both teaching experience and education. A music teacher does not need to hold a degree, and in fact, there's no legal requirement for them to do that. It is a nice to have, but they don't necessarily need to hold one. It's also nice if they are in training. So it's a lot of college students studying music who teach. But sometimes years and years of lessons and learning themselves plus experience is also an excellent indicator that they're going to be a good teacher. You're looking for 2 things. You're looking for both teaching experience and education, teaching experience and education. If you're going through a music school or a music academy, it's fairly common for the owner or the principal, the head of the school, to be very well educated and qualified, hold degrees and so forth. And then the teachers under them, perhaps either in the process of doing that or having a lot of teaching experience. Not everybody needs a degree to teach, but definitely ask the question to make sure that there is enough experience and some education, if possible, for your for your children to benefit from. The second question you need to ask is, can you teach students to master their instrument? Can you teach students to master their instrument? This is a kind of a leading question. What you're really saying is, can you take them past the beginner level? This happens a lot. I have a lot of students who come to me after only a year of training with another teacher because the teacher was not really a master of their own instrument and could only teach them past the beginner level. And if that's all you need, that's fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to new young teachers. Absolutely, they need the opportunity to learn and grow as well. But if you want a teacher for longer term, it just depends on what your expectations are, then you need to ask the question, can you teach my children to master their instrument? As a rule of thumb, that means to master an instrument as a hobby player, somebody who just plays for pleasure, they need about 5 years worth of lessons. To master the instrument completely, they need 10 years of lessons and probably a college education after that. So that's just a rule of thumb and something that's important to know. The third question I would ask is, do your students do concerts and recitals? Do your students do concerts and recitals? This is really talking about goal setting. My students are given 4 opportunities a year. It's seasonal. I have an opportunity in every season for students to participate. Not all students. I mean, some concerts are at a higher level than others, but there is at least 1 per year and sometimes 2 or 3. And that's not for everybody. I understand that performance is not for everybody, but the opportunity needs to be there. Goal setting for musicians is like sunshine and rain to a flower. When a musician has a goal, whether they're 8 or 80, that is the best thing to get them into the practice chair. Nothing puts my butt in the practice chair quicker than knowing I have to perform. So the 3 questions that you need to ask your music teacher or the potential music teacher, someone you're screening for your child. What qualifies you to teach my child? Can you teach them to master their instrument? And do your students do concerts and recitals? So thanks for listening. Keep your eyes open. There'll be more videos soon.